Hey everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. I thought I'd go ahead and do another nail demo / nail tutorial. These are Olive and June press-on nails. I'll put a link in the description box where you can get them. These were $10. I bought them with my own money, and these are supposed to be lasting for about a week. Inside the package we have trays with individual nails. I went ahead and bought the length short. You can also get extra short. I just wasn't sure. It's a little hard to tell from the package which ones would do well for my nails. I think extra short maybe would have worked also, but I got the short ones just to try. And then right on here on the trays, it might be hard to see on the video, but there are labels for the sizes from 2 all the way to 14. And we have some goodies in here. A prep pad, more sizes. I like seeing this. These are quite a bit wider than any of the press-on nails that I've tried before. So that's promising for people with larger nail beds. We have the glue, a little buffer, instructions, and an orange stick. It says on here that there are 42 nails in 21 sizes made from up to 94% post-consumer recycled materials. And then you get the buffer that we already saw. With any nail application, prep is going to be the most important step. I already prepped my nails a little bit. It's very basic. All I did was cut off the excess length. You don't have to necessarily do that, but I prefer doing that when I use press-ons because I don't want that weird double layer of natural nails sticking up past the fingertip and then having a press-on on top of that. And because I go with short length for press-ons, I feel like it's important to have my nails as short as possible, but you don't have to do that. And then I took this metal cuticle pusher. This one is my own. It does not come in the kit, but I would recommend you buy something like this if you're going to do nails regularly because these are very, very handy. And all I did was push back my cuticle. Some people like to trim their cuticles. I don't do that. They tend to grow out jagged on me, and then there's of course a possibility of cutting yourself accidentally. So in all of my nail videos, if you've seen any of the other ones, I have a whole nails playlist you can check out. But in all of them, I start by pushing back the cuticle and just making sure that it's back without, of course, going so intense as to cause any damage or anything like that. We don't want that, but you don't want to put any stickers or press-ons over cuticles because they will not last very long. I did this part, so this is just a very quick version of that. I already did that off camera. The next step is figuring out your nail size. I don't know these sizes for the Olive and June brand. I do know my Dashing Diva Magic Press sizing really well. I know it by heart, but because these are new to me, I'm going to try them on. I do highly recommend that you don't just lightly put it on and say, okay, this is the right size. It looks for me like this might be the right size, but when I push down slightly, I can feel that it's digging into my skin, and so it's too big. Because these are curved, I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I think it's pretty visible that these are curved. When you put them on and glue them on, they will spread just a tiny bit, but when it comes to nails, every millimeter, every half a millimeter matters. When it comes to sizing, so this is too big for my pinky. Might be okay for the ring finger. It is very, very curved though, so it's not the most comfortable on the ring finger. I'm going to try and play around with these sizes and find the ones that I need. I picked out my sizes, lined them up here from pinky to thumb, and the same on the other side. It's a little bit off screen. I am working in a very tight space here. I did also find out that on the backs of the nails, in this extra bag, and on the rest of them, they also printed the sizes in very, very small font here, but that is nice to know because if you know your size, again, you can find it, even if they didn't come in these marked trays, if you need these bigger or smaller sizes. I am noticing already by just trying these out that the smaller sizes, the ones that I picked, the ones that fit my nails, or I think fit my nails, are very, very curved, and I'm not sure how comfortable that's going to be. These are rigid plastic. Perhaps they're not exactly plastic. Maybe it's the real gel that's cured. I'm not sure what their marketing material claims, but it feels like very, very thick, rigid plastic. So I'm not sure how comfortable that's going to be once I glue them on because of how curved they are, but we'll see. I'll report back. I am filming this with plenty of time before I plan on putting this out online, so I will have time with these to wear them and see how they go. And I plan on filming a little bit of an update and adding it to the end of this video before I actually publish it. So hopefully we can have a full picture of how these wear and how they go. The next step is to buff the natural nail a little bit. Now, you might be noticing how horribly, horribly dry my nails are. First of all, it's cold. We had some flurries today. Second of all, my nails and hands are in general super dry. And third of all, you never want to put lotion or oil or anything else, even do like water things, like taking a long shower or a bath or going for a swim or doing tons of dishes before putting on fake nails, because you're going to have all that extra water moisture in the nails, and that can affect the longevity of your manicure. Thus, everything is super dry and looking extra terrible, but it will be better. And normally in my regular life, when I don't film and don't put on fake nails, when I just let my nails recover in between sets, I do hydrate, moisturize them, and take good care of them. They don't usually look this bad. I'm going to lightly buff the surface. The purpose of this, in my understanding, is just to make it a bit rougher, to give the glue and the nail something to grip. It's a little bit easier to put adhesive and have things actually stay if the surface isn't completely, totally smooth. So if I were you, I wouldn't polish or shine my nails before applying these, just to make sure. Now, I don't know about Olive and June. With Dash and Diva, I don't do this step, and they work just fine for me, the Magic Press. But because this is a new to me brand, and I've never used them before, I'm going to follow their instructions to a T, just so nobody can tell me later, in case these aren't good, that they're not good because I didn't follow instructions. I don't know if these are good or not. I hope they are, because I spent money on them, so I hope they work. Now that everything is buffed, I'm going to take their prep pad. If you run out of these, they only included one. There's more than enough nails for potentially more than one manicure in here, just depending on your nail size. But if you run out of these, don't have a prep pad, I usually use just alcohol pads. I get mine at Costco, a big box of them, and that's what I use for all of my manicures, because basically this is what it is. You want to do this after the buffing stage, because buffing produces some fine nail dust, and we don't really want that on the nails. Plus, you want to get all your sizing lined up first, because you don't want to touch the nails too much after you degrease them with this prep pad. That's basically the purpose of this prep pad, is just to remove any excess oil and dirt and make sure you have a clean surface. This next part is the one that is just a bit intimidating. It has been years, over 10 years, since I've used nails that required actual glue. I've used press-ons, but they were all peel and stick kind, and I even remember the last time I used these kinds of nails, although back then they were much, much worse, not as pretty, and more expensive. But it was Thanksgiving weekend, yeah, about 11 years ago. Super long time. What the brand recommends for long wear, they have instructions for long wear and short wear. For short wear, you do a line down your nail with 2 little dots on each side, and then put on the nail. I am going to go for the long wear version, and for that, you need to put a drop of the glue on the fake nail in the middle, and then spread it around all over. I wouldn't probably go all the way to the very, very tip, because we don't want the actual tip to be sticky if it's going to go past the natural nail, which in my case it will be. And then do the same thing here. Put one little drop on the nail and then spread it around. I did read all the warnings on these, and it says that it's toxic to the skin, and it's an irritant, and don't get it in your eyes, and all that kind of stuff. So definitely don't get it everywhere. Then it said to wait 5 seconds to allow the glue to get tacky. It's taking me more than 5 seconds to do this anyway. And what I do with my press-ons is I slide them from kind of a little bit up the nail, and then I slide them down to get them as close to the cuticle line as possible. And if you don't trim your cuticles, you want this to go under the cuticle. Okay. And the instructions said to press it down for 30 seconds or longer, which both sounds like a short time and also like a very long time. If you have to actually time 30 seconds per nail. I don't know if I have patience for the actual 30 seconds, but I'm going to try. The curved part so far feels okay. I think I got a little bit too much glue on this first one because I can sort of see it a little bit poking out there. So let's see how the rest of them go. This is what it looks like. I'm glad I went with a short length and not a medium length because this is actually about as long as I'm comfortable with. That is pretty long. Maybe I should have gone with extra short, and that's probably what I would do if I got these again. Whether or not I get these again just depends on how they wear. Let's do one more on camera here, and then I'll finish the rest off. It's always a bit of a challenge to film these videos because I have to make sure that things are in focus, and sometimes they do go out of focus, and I apologize. But I have to get the things in focus. I have to make sure everything is looking okay on the screen and you can actually see what I'm doing. But there's a camera between me and my hands, which makes nail application really challenging. Of course, I got the glue on my skin. I'm not going to edit that out. This is real life. This is how it goes. Now let's get the glue on this other finger. One drop. And kind of smoosh it around. And I'm not going all the way to the skin because once I push the nail onto this, the fake nail, it spreads the glue just fine. So I don't want to go all the way to the edges here because then when I smush the nail onto it, it's going to spread that glue even more, and that's where it will get on the skin. I've never had an allergic reaction to an adhesive product like this, but not to say that it can't happen. And so I'm going to keep it off my skin the best that I can. I also don't want to get it on my other hand, on the actual pads of my fingers, because I saw another video, I watched a tutorial before I filmed this. It was a little bit hard to see because I think maybe the person's lens was a little bit dirty when they were filming it, but still, it was helpful. And she accidentally got some on her other hand, and then when she was pushing the nail down, she got glue on the actual fake nail, and it didn't look that great. Hopefully she was able to get that off and still enjoy her manicure, but that's something that I'm trying to avoid personally. Again, 30 seconds feels like a pretty long time to push it down, but I can see why it takes that long because unlike with Dashing Diva, and this is not meant to be a comparison video, but those are just the ones that I use the most often. Unlike Dashing Diva, this one you really do have to push it down for a little while before they stay. I don't know if you saw, but mine was coming up after the first little press, so you really do have to hold it down before they kind of stick on there. Okay, I am going to finish the rest of these off camera, and then I will show you what they look like. I finished the application. It took longer than I thought because you have to put glue on every individual fake nail and on every individual natural nail. That is a lot longer than the peel and stick stuff that I'm used to. If it makes them last longer, maybe it's worth it, but again, the marketing materials say up to 7 days, and that's what I usually tend to get out of press-ons, so that's not any longer than the peel and stick brands, but we'll see how they wear. They are very curved, so it took quite a bit of pressure to get them to straighten out enough to adhere to my nails. As the sizing gets bigger, they do get less curved, but then they're too wide for my nails. So I'm not sure that these are the best for me personally because of the curved part, but we'll see how they wear. Do the thumbs last because you need your thumbs, preferably without press-ons on them, to push down the rest of the fingers. And then upon a closer inspection of the sizes, I'm not personally sure I could get more than one manicure out of this set just because I used up a lot of the smaller sizes and I didn't see seconds of those. Like I used both of the 8s, I used both of the 6s, I used both of the smaller sizes, the smallest size in here. The little overflow baggie did have other sizes, but not so much the ones that I've already used. So I think this was a $10 manicure for me, and I probably couldn't do another one from this set, which also makes it a little bit pricier than what I'm usually paying for press-ons. The design is pretty and I really like it. It does adhere very closely here at the cuticle line. I don't feel anything lifting, at least not yet. It does look pretty natural, I think. The last step would be to file down any imperfections if there are any. I don't know if you can see this well on video, and I know I keep saying that, but it's really difficult to tell how much of the little details would translate on the camera. But there's a little imperfection right here. I think it's probably part of the manufacturing process. If I had to guess, they're probably joined together as they go through the line. And right there, where that joining happened, is a little bit of a ridge. So I'm just going to take the file side of the file. So we used the buff side before. I'm going to take the file side now and very gently, without disturbing the main glitter, file it down until it's smooth. That took care of it, just a couple little movements. These are the thumbs. I think the thumbs could have been flatter here on the bottom to match my cuticle better, and I maybe could have shaped them myself, maybe using manicure scissors or a nail file, and I just didn't want to take the time because I already spent way more time on these than I planned. It's still less time than doing stickers, the ones that are you know, the Ash and Diva gloss or a horror. These still took less time, but it was more time than press-ons usually take me. But that's what they look like. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am back with an update, and it's not a good one. Let's start with the positives. So some of the pros, these are lasting okay as far as adherence. They are not coming loose. I don't feel anything moving. Sometimes when press-on nails start to get a little bit older and are starting to get loose, you can almost feel the press-on move outside of the finger moving, and that's kind of a telltale sign that they're about to lose their grip. They look pretty, and I did have a couple people give me compliments in person. So those are good things. And then the cuticle line here, I think it looks pretty natural, even though I didn't trim my cuticles. They don't necessarily, to me, look like stick-on nails. They look pretty good. That's about it for pros. Let's talk about cons. I put these on Monday night. I thought, well, I will film an update on the weekend and show you how they're lasting, maybe do a removal or something like that. Well, it's Thursday now, and yeah, we are down a nail. These started peeling. They have a base material color. This white color is the color of the press-on itself. I think it's infused somehow in the plastic or whatever their process is. Then they have glitter painted on top, and then some kind of clear coat over that. This clear coat started to peel off on my thumb, on this nail that came off now, on day 2. The very next morning, Tuesday morning, it was peeling off. And it continued from there. I don't know if you can see, and I will put little pictures in this video because I've been taking pictures as it was happening, but in person, I can see a very clear line where it's shiny right here, where the coat is intact, and then right there it's not shiny anymore at all because the whole clear coat fell off, and now nothing is holding glitter down, so the glitter is rubbing off as well. That happened across the board to all of the nails. It started with this thumb on my right hand, but it happened to every single one, I think. I think this one is still intact. These ones are not. And then this thumbnail here, today, Thursday morning, while I was at work, it cracked. And it didn't just crack a little bit, a whole big chip came out of the side, and it was actually so sharp that I had to remove it because I was going to either rip through clothes or scratch my kid or any of those things. So that is terrible. And then, as I mentioned in the application, these are very, very, very curved this way, and they're hard to put on the nail. I did have one person respond to my stories and say that for her, these are so curved they pop off or they hurt really bad when applied. So I think I'm not the only one who doesn't love the curved thing. But after I did apply them, nothing hurts. So it was kind of uncomfortable to do at first during application, but afterwards it hasn't been too bad. So that's good. I was ready to say that while the clear coat did come off, and that's unfortunate, at least the nails themselves are adhering well, and maybe it's just the set that isn't doing so great. Maybe if you got a different color or maybe something with that glitter, maybe it would be okay. But the cracking of the nail was really annoying. To remove it, all I did was take a floss pick, or you can use this little stick that comes off. I pried a little bit at the edges, and then you can put remover down there. I didn't even have to do that. I just kept working my floss pick through because it's just one nail and I was in a hurry. I didn't feel any tugging or anything like that, and the nail came off fairly easily. You can see the glue residue. I haven't cleaned that up yet, but I think a little bit polish remover will take that right off. Again, I was just in a really big hurry. Overall, these are a giant disappointment for me. They were $10. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's definitely way too much for only 3 days of wear and not even 3 days of perfect wear. It was flawed from day 2. Tuesday morning already started to peel, so that's really, really unfortunate. I did post some updates in my stories on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit as this was happening, and the brand reached out to me, and it was kind of an interesting way that they did that. They said, I didn't ask them for anything, I just tagged them in the stories, as I usually tag brands when I talk about their products. They said, well, because it's from Target, there's nothing you can do, you have to take it back to Target. And I said, I don't really need anything back, I'm not going to return these, it's fine. I did a video. I feel like as a creator, I got use out of these for the video, and I don't feel like it's right to make content that's monetized and then go ahead and return the product, so I'm not going to do that. If I were just a regular user, I probably would have. But then they said, okay, well, here's a $10 gift card. You can buy yourself another set. And that might sound like a great idea and a great offer. However, the shipping on their site is $5, almost $6. And I said, I'm not going to pay shipping of $6 to get a $10 nail set. And they said, well, just keep it for when you do a bigger haul on our site. And to be honest, I'm not going to do a bigger haul on their site, because I just don't like this. And they do sell nail polish, and a lot of people like their nail polish. I haven't tried it. I'm just not a polish person. I'm not very good at painting my nails perfectly, and I prefer press-on stickers and those kinds of things. So that's that. That's the Olive and June press-ons. Not even 3 days of wear. I'm going to have to take the rest of them off because this looks funky now. And yeah, very unfortunate. If you had a different experience, if you tried different kinds of them, like if you tried ones without glitter and it worked better for you, if you have positive or negative experience, please leave me a comment. If you use these and they are amazing and the best thing ever, awesome, I'm really happy for you. I don't expect people to agree with my opinion, and I also never want you to have products that you don't like, because it really stinks when you spend money and you get something that didn't work for you. So regardless of my experience, I always hope that my viewers love the things that they buy. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this was useful, or at least entertaining in some ways. If you want any other reviews or trials of nails, let me know the brands, or maybe I already reviewed the brand that you want to see. Check out my nails playlist. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, and in my private Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much. Bye.